It's Tami LaTrell, and you are watching another series of my songwriting workshops called The Writer's Block. Today, I have a very informative and fun lesson that I'm going to teach on, and it is all about dun, 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 split sheets. Split sheets, split sheets, split sheets. It's very important. It's a very important part of the business for songwriters and producers, but I think it's definitely a wealth of information that anybody who's interested in music can know and learn and understand and should know about. So I'll just jump right into it, and feel free to make sure you leave comments on this video or questions, and I promise you I will get back to them and answer them to the best of my ability from my experience. All right, so we're just going to get into it. The first question is, what is a split sheet? Okay, so I did bring a document for you guys. It may be a little bit of, there you go. You can see it. Okay, it's basically a form, a document that you can use as proof of percentages of who wrote lyrics and who actually created music to a song. This piece of paper is very, very important. So I also put a link in there if you want to download a copy of this split sheet. It looks like a lot, but actually these are 3 different sections. I just try to put it all on one piece of paper for each writer. So it has like the song title information and all the writers that were involved. Usually, if it's just you and a producer, this one form right here would be all you need. But it does have additional if you need to add more writers. Sometimes it's 2 to 3 people, 4 people even on a song. So, but yeah, it's documented proof of who wrote what. And so it's very, very vital. Unfortunately, a lot of songwriters and producers just kind of like to jump in the studio and get creative and see what they can come up with. But that's cool. But it does need to be a conversation brought up. And I would suggest bringing the conversation up prior to getting creative, just to eliminate anything else, or the situation feeling uncomfortable at the end of the day when you pull the split sheets out. Okay, so just have that conversation. Put your business first and say, hey, I fill out split sheets after my sessions. I just want to make sure that that's okay, and that you are aware of split sheets. And I have documentation if you want to go through it, or if that person doesn't know. And it's okay to admit that you don't know something. I mean, I'm still learning every day. So make sure you have that conversation. All right. Why is this so important? Why am I stressing this? I'm stressing this because if this isn't done now, at the session when you're finishing that song and you're like so excited, then what will happen when this song gets placed? You get a phone call. Somebody wants to use it for a movie. Somebody wants to use it for a commercial. An artist wants to record the song. The label is ready to record and release the song. And then you're chasing down a person that you did the song with, trying to get the splits, because that's going to be the next question. We need the splits if they're not already done. Just to make sure that everyone gets a fair share, because you don't want anything happening to where you guys have to debate back and forth on, well, you only wrote this and you wrote 2 lines and you this, I'm the producer and songwriter and I contributed this and all of that. So just to avoid that, fill out your split sheet at the end of the session. That way, the producers that are there with you creating, they know their percentage, and the songwriters, whether it's you and someone else or it's just yourself, can go ahead and fill that paperwork out. Each of you get a copy, each of you sign on it, and you go from there. You have documentation of it, and then you file it with your PRO, your Performance Rights Organization, whether it's ASCAP, BMI, or CSAC, and we'll go over that more. So it's just to make sure that everyone gets a fair share. When should you complete them? Like I said, at the end of the session, after you've made this fabulous record, you're ready to, start promoting it and shopping it. You want to make sure you have that split sheet documented, okay? So I'm going to just walk through the basics of the split sheet itself, and I'll be pulling up my little diagrams that I create for all of my classes. So how to complete a split sheet. First things first. we need to kind of break down what all is on the split sheet, so that you know exactly what needs to be completed, what needs to be filled out. For one, the song title, the date that the song was created, the artist, the songwriter, the producer, and owner of the song. Let's say, for instance, the label is involved on this song, or maybe the songwriter splits his publishing with someone else. All of that information needs to be on there. Like for my situation, currently at the time I'm signed to EMI. So when I write my splits down of my publishing company is LaTrell Music /EMI /ASCAP. So EMI is the company that I'm published through, and ASCAP is the company that collects my royalties and pays them to me and to EMI. So that information needs to be included on there. And the publishing information is not just the company, but how much of their percentage it will be if you have that. Some people may not have it, and sometimes your publisher will complete that. That's fine. You also need to have your contact information on there. There also needs to be signatures of an acknowledgement and the date that it was signed. You may have written the song, yesterday y'all went back into the studio the day after. You want to make sure that the signature reflects the date that it was actually completed. And you want to make sure everyone gets a copy. You also can include your social security number on there. If you don't, want to, you can include your tax ID for your publishing company. Just a way for people to know that you are the one that signed a split sheet. And you also can even include your birth date to verify, because there could be a ton of Rick Thomases out there. There can be a ton of Daisy Newmans out there. I'm just throwing names out, but I'm just saying you may have someone out there who's also an accomplished songwriter who signed with the same company of ASCAP or BMI who collects royalties, and you just want to make sure that you have as much documentation on their form just in case things get legal and you have to send it in. Okay? So after you have finished the song and you're coming down to that point, you need to determine, okay, we got to split this out. Who did what, okay? And this brings me to my next slide. Understanding song splits. I'll just keep it really basic for you guys. And if y'all have any more questions, just email me. Just leave a comment and I'll, try to break it down to the best of my ability. A complete song consists of the music and the lyrics that the artist is singing, which is 100%, okay? So if you were to separate the two, the music and the lyrics, then you have what? 50 for music and 50 for lyrics. So let's just keep it that simple. A complete song consists of 100%. 50% goes to the music producer for creating the beat or composing the music, because they could literally just be on a guitar or composing it on a keyboard. And then the other 50% goes to the songwriter who wrote the lyrics. Got it? So that means if you have more than one person writing lyrics, then if it's two people writing lyrics, you would divide that 50% into what? 25-25. Same for the producers. So I hope you guys get that. That's the easiest way to break it down using percentages. But it does get tricky at times, especially when, you're writing and you're signed to a publishing company, and, it's just so many different factors that come into play. The song could be sampled and it could take a percentage out of the producer's splits and stuff like that. So you just have to make sure that you understand the splits. And I've never been the type to like fight over my splits, like, you wrote this and you only wrote these 2 or 3 lines, Like if somebody's sitting in the session and they come in and they want to like kind of spectate from the sideline, they really not in the session, just kind of like adding, why don't y'all do this and why don't y'all do that? You either about to get out of my session or you're going to stay in the entire session to help create. I'm not the type of person like that will be like, I got this, because I've always learned 2 heads are better than one. And one person's idea could be that idea that takes your song to the next level to get it picked up. So I'm never, ever hating if you got some good songwriting ideas, melodies, concepts, or whatever. Let's get it. But remember, what's important is making a hit record. It's not about all the time who did what, because the hit record is going to take care of you. There's a situation that I always keep in mind, that the song Blame It on the Alcohol. If y'all look up the splits for Blame It on the Alcohol, it's several writers on that project. Well, there was one songwriter on there. He ended up getting, I want to say like 8 or 9% of that song lyrically, because it was so many people involved and he only did, you know, a certain section. But one of his royalty checks was like $300,000, you know? And so that just kind of gives you an idea of how much money that one song made. So just always keep in mind that long as you have your percentages documented, try to be fair. You know, think of always being fair with your songwriters and people that you're collaborating with, but know that sometimes your percentages may be very, very small, but they still may bring in a lot of money. So, and I'm not saying $300,000 is like, wow, a lot of money to some people, but to people who ain't never had nothing, $300,000 is a lot of money. So would you rather have nothing, or would you rather have $300,000 for that 8 or 9%? I think you guys would take that 8 or 9%, right? So I'm just saying, make sure that you guys are, you know, thinking fairly and responsibly about, you know, of each respective ownership on the song and contributions. Okay. The next thing I'm going to discuss is the publishing. Okay. The publishing of a song is also the utmost important, and it's in addition to the creative side, the creative splits. See, when you write a song and that producer gets 50% because he made the music, and you as a songwriter get 50% because you wrote the lyrics, you still have to report that into your publishing, which is going to collect on your behalf. Usually, okay, this is pretty much standard, that whatever your percentage is for your songwriting, that is equal to the amount of whatever your publishing is. If you are not signed with a publishing company and they're not getting a percentage of your publishing, like myself, I'm signed to a co-publishing deal with EMI. So they take a percentage out of my ownership percentage on the publishing side. So I give you guys an example, okay? Let me pull up my diagram real quick. Okay, so just as you would own 50% of your songwriting splits for writing that record, 50% also will go to your publishing. It's almost like two ways of getting paid. You have your writer's checks that come to you, and then you have your publishing checks that go to your publisher first. They take their percentage out, and then they send a check to you. Now, if you don't have a publishing company, then that check will come directly to your publishing company, and then you just pay yourself out of that. It's a great way to start, you know, tunneling in a business, and paying yourself out of your business income. So, on this diagram, you will see the split. So if there's 100% split, a 50% split, it'll be the same thing for your publishing. So Tami LaTrell August wrote 33.33% of this song. Well, my publishing company, LaTrell Music, will also claim 33.33%. But 33.33% of my publishing will be split with EMI, who will get their percentage off of it. You understand what I'm saying? And when the publishing checks come in, they will come from ASCAP to EMI. EMI will cut their percentage out, and then they'll send me the remainder. On my writer's side, that check will come directly to my house, or wherever you guys may have your check to come. P.O. Box, mama's house, whatever. All right. So that's the same exact thing. So you want to make sure that your songwriter share is equal to your publishing share. Your producer share is equal to his publishing share, his or her publishing share. And that's pretty much it. You can see from the diagram that I'm going to show you guys, that I'm showing you guys, it's all just split up into equal percentages of whatever it is that you own on your songwriting side. Your publishing will be parallel to that. Okay? So I will now explain filling it out step by step, and then I'll be done. All right, so what you see up here at the top is your song title, right here, and then the date that the song was done, the recording artist, if it was written for a particular artist, the record label that they're signed to. You also have the studio name here, the studio address, the studio phone number, just in case you need to verify that you were there. They need to see the books. Was there a sample on the song? Yes or no? You can circle yes or no, because that's going to also have to do with, at the end of the day, how those splits will work out. And then from here, you will put the composer's information, the composer's name, their full address here, their phone number, the publishing company. If there's a third party, like my situation, it will have, that information on there. And then you will put your splits right here and the splitting percentage. If you are signed to ASCAP, BMI, or CSAC, whoever you're affiliated with, you would also circle that as well. And then you would put your ownership of the lyrics, your ownership of the music, and then this is so funny, but I just really want y'all to see it. And then the writer composer signature will go right there. And then you will have, I have an area for your birth date as well. And then Social Security number. Like I said, you don't have to put your Social Security number there. You can put your tax ID or the member ID of your affiliation with ASCAP, BMI, or CSAC. And then down here is where you will fill out the additional writer or composer's information right there. So it's pretty much, it's easy. It's not hard. You just filling out the the little form document. Kind of feels like an application. That's why I said that. But, it's going to take care of you at the end of the night. You guys can make a copy of it, or whoever's going to be responsible will have to send in a copy. I prefer to get everybody a copy that night. So if they don't have a copy machine on the premises for you to get your copy before you leave, fill out 2 of these, however many you need. But when you come to your session, songwriters and producers, you make sure you have this document in hand, in your bag or your folder, your songwriting folder. I have a songwriting folder that has all of my recent lyrics. I have my writing tablet with me, of course, pens, highlighters, and then I also have my split sheets with me as well. I'm not gonna say that, I'm not gonna be up here telling y'all, well, you need to fill one out. I fill one out after every song. There have been times where I have not filled out split sheets after I've finished a song. Is that right? No. Am I perfect? No. Nobody's perfect, right? But at the same time, I do send emails and go ahead and get the splits taken care of. Maybe, we were just running late on time and just kind of, got caught up. But I'm trying to tell y'all now to get that out of your system. Don't be lackadaisical. Make sure you take care of your business first. And that's why I'm stressing it, because I made mistakes myself and, have been in situations like that to where we had to go back and verify who did what, had to negotiate. So it just all has to make sense at the end of the day. So that's it for me. If you guys have any questions, please make sure that you leave a comment below. You can also leave questions on my FanBridge account. That's TamiLaTrell.fanbridge.com. And like I said, I will get back with you guys as soon as I can. You can hit me up on Twitter at Tami LaTrell. You can find me on Facebook at Tami LaTrell, TamiLaTrell. And I look forward to hearing from you guys. So just hit me up. And I hope this was informative. I was trying to make it quick, but, sometimes you got to explain stuff step by step. So I just want to make sure y'all have it. So hit me up as soon as possible. I look forward to hearing from you guys. All right. Thank you. I'm signing out. Peace. It's time for me.